October 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. Something that I do each and every day, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles. Speaking of which, just a moment while I make sure I don't trample on objective number 6. There we go. I do this every day. It's a live exercise, like I said, and you're welcome to watch and look over my shoulder and leave comments or criticisms as you see fit. I'll read and respond to those when I'm finished with my main part of this. I will go over my notes from yesterday, see how things are played out from yesterday, and prepare for the coming day. But before I do any of that, I want to say hello to my new subscribers to the channel. It's nice to see you. Welcome to my channel. By way of biography, I'm an introduction. I am a 61-year-old American living here in Japan with my wife. She's Japanese. Our daughter has grown and living her own life up in the Tokyo area. I'm working on my 11th month of retirement, which is a very interesting transition for sure. Takes a while to get used to, but I think I'm nearly there. I'm very grateful for your support, for anyone that watches my videos, and especially my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members. Thank you so much. By the way, those that want to can meet with me in person on every weekday, Monday to Friday, Japan time, from 10 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. on the softypapa Discord server, where I have a new channel there called the softypapa's Office. And it's working out great. People are showing up and having a great chance to meet people face to face and actually interact. So whereas this is kind of more of a one-way thing where I'm doing a lot of talking and I get to interact with you in the comments later, over on Discord it's more like a Zoom meeting, and that's a lot of fun. So if you're around and you're available and you're interested, about 10 o'clock Japan time every morning, Monday to Friday. And don't forget, Japan's living in the future a day ahead of most of the world. Okay, let's get started. So, I forgot an important disclaimer. As this is my personal journal, I'm at liberty to talk about myself for as long as I want, in as much detail or not as I see fit. This isn't a video that I make for others, although others are welcome to watch, and maybe someone will gain from observing me making and reviewing my mistakes in life and trying to improve. This is a video for me to tune my life to better align with the values in my book, Going Alone, particularly the creed outlined in the chapter titled The Good Life. So, as such, I'm at liberty to talk about anything I want, and sometimes I say things that unsettle people or make people upset, like when I talk about my own death, my own plans for my own death. That always seems to unease people. Or when I talk about how, my good health isn't likely to last much longer. So, I'm 61 years old and probably using up the last good years of my life. So reliably that makes people unsettled and they'll leave comments. So just know, I not only might I talk about those subjects, I just did, which is okay because I do every day. Okay, let's do a quick check of the temperature and humidity before we get started. It is outrageously humid. There's like this coating of moisture. It's almost like you just got out of a summertime pool. It's currently 15 degrees and right at 90% humidity. Goodness gracious, look at that. So it's taken a considerable drop. It's taken a considerable drop from just last week. For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, it was about 20 to 25 degrees and 85% humidity. I bet if I turn back a random number of pages, it'll be something just like that. 20 degrees and 80%. Let's go back another couple of days. 18 degrees and 85%. Anyway, very considerably consistently hot and kind of humid. Now it's just really humid and actually kind of cold. I had to close the window there, and I almost put on a different shirt because it's actually a little bit of chill in the air. But it's supposed to warm up 3 degrees warmer than yesterday, so it'll be pretty warm. Okay, now getting on with the day, let's look at the notes for the last 24 hours, and I'm going to try to mind the time. I missed radio exercise yesterday, and the team noticed it. I was walking down the street, and one of my co-members from the radio exercise team pulled over and stopped and asked if I was okay. In Japan, if you break your routine in any capacity, it's a community event. People notice. So the last 24 hours, the only note that I have here is steady at the helm. And what that simply refers to is exactly what it sounds like. Yesterday was a very staid and steady day, full of activities throughout the day, including lots of work in the morning on my YouTube activities. I worked on videos. I worked on my social media posts. I took care of the money transfer. I transferred money from the United States over to Japan for our October budget. Then I went over and I had lunch with my wife and her father. Then I went out for Yumiko and I took my wife out. She spent most of the morning with her father taking care of his doctor's appointment, which isn't easy. My father-in-law is not an easy man. He's not a bad man, but he's certainly not an easy man to manage. Try to manage, because he can't really manage himself anymore. And my wife was clearly exhausted after lunch, so I took her to a fluffy pancake place in Shimizu, and we had fluffy pancakes, which were very rich and very thick, and that felt really like retirement in the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday, having fluffy pancake desserts with your wife. Then after that, I came home and I did something that I worked on something that I'm actually very pleased with. Every day, I write a blog entry, a social media post, which is roughly analogous to a journal entry. I keep a journal called Stoic Poetry. I've completed 4 volumes of it. The 5th volume is in the process. I don't have a computer. One of the problems is that I no longer have a personal computer, so I can't work on volume 5 yet. But nevertheless I make the blog posts every day, and that's the short 2-3 paragraph essay, so to speak, that goes out, that accompanies the day's retiring in Japan video, which frustrates some people because they'll see on my video the title says something like tackling free time in retirement, and then they'll watch the video and it has nothing to do with that. That's because the title is related to the text within the description. The associated video is simply the day's activities. So you get it. There's like the retiring in Japan video. If you're a new viewer, by the way, I reliably do 2 videos a day. One is this video, this live video, and the other is the retiring in Japan video, which is a compilation of snapshots from the last 24 hours, namely full day yesterday. So what you see is when you see the 2 uploads, and both happen within probably an hour of each other every day. The one is this, which happens right now. The other is the retiring in Japan video. So retiring in Japan video really is an expansive endeavor, because the video captures the events throughout the day yesterday, whereas the journal entry, the post, the text within, and the title are reflective of my commentary following that day's completion, which sometimes doesn't have a lot to do with that day. Although I'm trying now to make sure that the thumbnail is appropriate for that day. You see what I mean? So it's a complicated affair. But here's the thing. So every day I write a blog post, or not a blog post, I keep saying that, a social media post, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs of extemporaneous writing about some subject that comes to mind, usually relevant to the last 24 hours. That goes out in social media as a social media post on Facebook, my Facebook page, X, LinkedIn, and LinkedIn. And then YouTube in the form of the video Retiring in Japan as well. So it's all out there, but it's just a post. Now, here's the thing. That social media post contains elements of my creed. There'll be, principles and objectives contained within it that are, I'm going to move the book down here. It's getting soaking wet. I should move it down here to keep it out of this wet breeze. Those are in there. Now, here's the thing. And for a long time, I've had this thought that every day I write these, sometimes to the point, but sometimes a little bit obscure in terms of where the objectives and principles are within the post. I do that every day, but I don't spend time to dissect the post, to show you where, pull out, for example, hashtag social principle, pull out, for example, hashtag, always ready to die. Because if you look at my social media posts, you can find those things. I thought, wouldn't it be a great use of my blog capacity on goingalone.org, my website, to make a daily blog post that takes the social media post and then dissects it through the lens of the Good Life Creed. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. It was the second day to do it. So I went over the morning's post, and pulled out the relevant objectives and principles, compiled those into a blog post, and sent that out. I'm very proud of that. I don't think that it's going to be something that's eminently readable. I don't expect to have wide circulation on it at all, but it's satisfied for me, which again, I do a lot of this stuff for me, right? Like I'm doing this video for me. Because by doing it live, it causes me to examine the day in more detail. By spending time to go over my own writing and see where my own values apply to it, that benefits me. If it happens to benefit someone else along the way, then that is really good. I really like that. I hope that's the case. But I know that my writing, the topics I choose, are not, mass consumption types of stuff. So as a result, yesterday felt very steady at the helm. I had a very full, rich, I could use the word rich, day of useful activity, very good use of time in fulfillment of objective number 2 in my creed. To that end, let's go ahead and get to it. My objectives consist of the following 8, which again, you can read all about in Going Alone in the chapter titled The Good Life. Just go to goingalone.org, look for the button in the middle of the page that says Read the Book, scroll down until you find the chapter titled The Good Life, and then therein you'll find the creed. My first objective is to be always ready to die, to have my affairs, see I told you I'd talk about death, my affairs, my relationships, and my life's work, if not complete, at least in a stable state, so that if I keel over dead today, my wife and daughter won't find my papers in a mess or my bank accounts inscrutable. You know what I mean? So that they're going to be in good shape. They can figure out how I left my affairs, and that I don't have anybody to sour words with. 2, to make good and effective use of my time, to simply not waste my precious days, precious from my own perspective. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, namely to work hard to develop a personal creed and then to maintain that creed throughout my life. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to become a person who responds well to challenging circumstances. Who doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't lose control as much as I possibly can. 5, to perform good actions relative to my creed. 6, to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. And 8, to maintain my balance. I always like to read one item from the book. This morning, yesterday I read True Limits. Today I'm going to read one thing at a time. Which is called One Thing Slowly in the book. It's objective number 7 on page 251 of the hardbound edition. One thing slowly. Do only one thing at a time and do that thing slowly. I will try hard to never take on two activities or entertain two thoughts at the same time. In addition, I will pursue each activity or thought slowly. If I find this limit difficult to maintain, then clearly I have accepted more responsibility than I can reasonably handle. Of course, there will be times I am unable to maintain this workload or ratio due to deadlines or other necessities. However, in hindsight, I will try to identify where I went wrong and how I managed to let my workload or responsibilities get so out of hand that I had to multitask. I will do this in order to try and avoid making the same mistake in the future. I will then learn from my error and become more mature for the effort. The benefit of this objective may be self-evident in my improved ability to focus my attention on whatever is most important in the current moment. Moving and thinking slowly further improve these efforts by ensuring I make good and well-considered choices and actions which are less prone to mistake or costly redo. Over time, I will become able to do more with less and make better ends of whatever means I find and enjoy a more relaxed and considered living at both work and play. All right, as for the coming day, my plan is to simply have another good, productive day. It's a Thursday. I will finish this. I think I'm going to be finishing up pretty quickly. I will then complete the good life, readying this video for full upload. I mean, it gets uploaded automatically, but I have to dress it up with some hashtags and stuff. And then I'll finish uploading the Retiring in Japan from yesterday. I'll release it. It's already uploaded right now, but I'll just release it, and then I'll share it around. Then I'll go out and do radio exercise, and then I'll come back and walk the dogs, have breakfast with my wife. I plan to start work on an illustration of a book that a reader sent me, and then have lunch with Dad, do my blog posting in the afternoon, and carry on from there. All right, let's go ahead and read comments. It's Josko Brahovic. Hey, Kurt, son, looking fresh. Thank you. Josko says, petition to clone Kurt commence. Thank you. Tim says, good morning. Weather check for the UK at 9:35 p.m. is 13.6 C and 84%. So you and I are very close today, Tim. It's hard to read. The humidity is like outrageous. Right now I'm at just at 15 degrees and 90%. So we're not spot on, but close. Let's hear your particulars. Storm Amy due to arrive here on Friday, remnant of Hurricane Humberto. Think Scotland will get the worst of it. 80-mile-per-hour winds. Ooh. Well, good luck. Hope everyone stays safe. Robert says hello to Kurt, to myself, to Josco, and chimes in at currently 64 degrees. It's gotten colder over there. 31% humidity and an air quality index of 24 in beautiful Napanee, Ontario, Canada. It's taken a cold turn, huh? And it's only 31% humidity. Wow. Tim says, Robert says hi to Tim. Tim says hi to Robert. Sarah, hello, Sarah. Says hi to Tim, Robert, and myself. Hello to you. Robert says hi to Sarah. Tim says hi to Sarah. Josco says, hi, y'all. 68% humidity and 11 degrees here in Zagreb, Croatia. Wow. Thank you. It's good to get the weather report from that part of the world, no less. And Robert says hello to Evelyn. Evelyn says hi to myself, Josco, Sarah, Robert, and Tim. Tim says hi to Evelyn. I want to go back and look at that. Hold on. I want to go back and look at that Croatia weather. 68 degrees, 68% humidity, and 11 C. That's kind of cold, but the humidity is nice. Josco says, I liked Jojo. Jojo? Did someone call you Jojo? Josco says hi and a smiling face. Evelyn says, oh, okay, that must have been the redacted comment. Maybe you called him Jojo by accident. Sarah says hello, Sarah again. Hello to Evelyn, and hey to Jojo. Jojo it is. Okoyama Ray. Hello, Okoyama Ray from Washington. Hey, Kurt. 17C and 63%. Rainy season has started. Sorry, I've missed so many of these. Been busy. Understood. Certainly. Glad you made it. Evelyn says, too funny. Jojo says, hello, Sarah-chan. Robert says, hello to O-Ray. Okoyama Ray says, hello to Robert, a.k.a. DIY, a.k.a. Believe in Yourself. Julie says, good afternoon. Ray says, since you use ChatGPT, maybe a fun task for identifying your principles in your videos could be training a model to have AI automatic that into a blog. Ray, that's exactly what I did. So I actually created a custom GPT, and I trained it. I already did that. I trained it on the objectives and the principles, and I told it the mission, and I use it to extrapolate out. So all I need to do is feed the day's post into the GPT, and it, since it's tutored in my creed, it then identifies the creed. I also taught it all the hashtags relevant, because in the back of the chapter titled The Good Life, I have a hashtag glossary for hashtags for each of the objectives and principles. I taught it the hashtag glossary, and so it extracts out and identifies all of the objectives and principles that are in play in the post, and then it writes the blog post for me, all in one shot. And it took about 3 days of training to get the GPT to be tuned to do it just the way I want it, but I'm very pleased with the result. So it's actually a very easy process. It was a very good use for AI. It's also kind of astonishing to have an AI that knows my creed so well that it can extract out correctly and label my own values in my own writing. Isn't that kind of amazing? Ray says, you definitely have enough content for the model to build from. Yeah, I think you're right. Robert says, hello to Julie. Julie says, that's a coincidence. In the last year, I have really started enjoying the act of moving slowly and deliberately. Ooh, maybe it's a thing for people our age. More and more. Tim says, getting colder there in the mornings as I see your maple is turning color. My maple trees in the garden are bright red and yellow now within colder nights. Yes, it's definitely, my little maple here is definitely turning redder every single day. I have another one, this one back here, that's also got a nice shade. Isn't that nice? Kind of a nice little barometer, so to speak, color barometer on the weather. And it's chilly. My feet, I'm barefoot out here. My feet are chilly. I think I'm going to have to move this Good Life meditation to the indoors as it gets colder, because it's colder and it's getting darker. Robert says, Julie, to move with intention or perhaps take inspired action. Ooh, I like that. Inspired action is a good thing, eh? Yeah, I agree with that. Hello, Claude. Claude chiming in from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Good to see you. Julie says, I took inspiration from Zen practice, although I am not a Zen person otherwise. Okayama Ray says, this is awesome. You created that AI model. Yeah, I was kind of amazed. Oh, here, let me show you if you're interested. I think I can show you on my other iPhone here. So in ChatGPT, you can create these projects. And I have this project here called softypapa. No, Going Alone, the one just below it, Going Alone. And if I click on that, it opens this AI called, you see the first one there? Extract Good Life Principles. And you click on that, and all I need to do now is plug in the post for the day, and it extracts it all out, writes the blog post, and creates a corresponding thumbnail image to go with it, and gives it a title. All in one shot. I don't have to do anything. All I do is I read it to make sure that it's right, and it's a heck of a lot of fun, because then as I read it, I tune it, right? That's why it took me a couple of days of tuning to get it to tune to write just correctly. Tim says, have you seen the AI actor Tilly Norwood creating a stir with the real Hollywood actors? Crazy thing is, she's applying for film parts even though she's not a real human. Really? No, I haven't heard of that. I'll have to look that up. You always tell me interesting things that I have to look up, Tim. Tilly Norwood. I'm going to look that up after this. Robert says to Claude, hello, I didn't know you were from the States. State with the best barbecue. Always Robert coming in with looking on the sunny side of things. I love that about you, Robert. And I'm sure it's the case. Tim says, I think the stir is AI actors will make the real ones redundant. I think you're right. I think you're right. It's going to make a lot of us redundant. Tim says, sorry, although I like giving you some homework. I appreciate it. I truly do. Whiskey. Hey, there's Whiskey. What do you eat for breakfast, mate? Me, oats and yogurt and decaf coffee. I pretty much have the same thing for breakfast every day. Although in Going Alone, I outlined my breakfast in Going Alone, which was what I was eating back then. It's not like that anymore. Now, Yumiko makes breakfast every morning, and she pretty much makes the same thing every morning. I have 2 eggs, 2 slices of toast, and yogurt with fruit. And we sit there and we have our breakfast together every morning. Kurt, I have accepted that I am also, this is Robert saying, Kurt, I have accepted also that I'm also a foodie. I'm okay with this. Robert says hi to Whiskey. All right. Well, I made it to the end. If any more comments come in, I'll go ahead and respond to them. But I wanted to point out one more time for anybody that's interested. I have the Discord server, and I created a channel there where every day for half an hour, I'm live in that channel, and people can come join me. And unlike this, where you just have to look at me and listen to me and leave comments, if you come in the Discord server, it's like a Zoom meeting, and we can all sit there and talk. Yesterday, Emily came, and another person came. I don't know if they're comfortable with me sharing their name. I know Emily's okay with that. Not my Emily, not my daughter, but and the 3 of us sat out here on the porch, and we talked about a good number of things. We talked for over an hour. It was fun. So if any of you are available and you want to chat more, and more one-on-one, like real people do, so to speak, like we did in the old days, then it's funny that you're thinking about a Zoom meeting as being the old days. Then come on over to the Discord. If you have trouble getting in or finding it, just send me a message, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com. Also, I think I've got a link to the Discord server, maybe in the description of this video. I really need to double check that. And we have a welcome to Elvina Barclay from Mimico, Ontario, Canada. Elvina, welcome back. I think I remember you visited before. It's good to see you here again. Tim is saying we'll have to set my alarm for 2 a.m. Yeah, that's a rough one, huh, Tim? Robert says hello to Elvina. I know where Mimico is. Robert, of course, being a fellow Canadian. Claude says, Texan visiting my sister who is a retired Marine. I'm trying to unpack that sentence. Have you got there's a Texan visiting your sister, and your sister is a retired Marine, or the Texan visiting your sister is a retired Marine? Well, I hope that I'm just picturing how nice it must be. I hope they have some nice barbecue, because between North Carolina and Texas, I'm sure that they've got the barbecue. They've cornered the market on barbecue extraordinaire, right? Claude, if you next time you're in Japan, I'm sure you know this. Yeah, as much as you love shikoku, I'm sure you'll love some good Korean and some good Japanese barbecue while you're here. Anyway, let me one more time say to Elvina, it's good to see you again. And Whiskey, we haven't seen you for a while. It's good to see you as well. Those of you who are here regularly, I greatly appreciate it. It's always good to see you all every morning. You've become a part of my life as much as having breakfast with my wife. Well, maybe not quite that much, but close. Wish you all the best, everybody. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care. Wait, Robert says the Texans may not believe that North Carolina has the best barbecue. Oh, right, okay. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.